You all right, bud?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a little cranky today.
You want to talk about it?
No, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just like, one of those days where everything's pissed me off, it's just like hard to get out of the...
Yeah, the bad guy's winning in there.
Yeah.
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 Is there anything I can do? Cheer you up? Get you positive?
No, I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
But I appreciate that.
I mean, everything you're feeling is valid for sure.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But also, you're going to be all right. I believe in you.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Feel better already.
My guy. What's going on, all you positive petunias? My name is Mason.
And my name is Grayson.
And welcome to The Modern Dude.
Podcast by dudes, for dudes, helping dudes become better dudes.
Dude! Every day we make a series of choices. They can either be positive or negative. Sometimes we let the negative win too often. Today we're going to talk about how we dive into the positive a little bit more.
Diving on in.
Yeah.
Just the can opener.
Is that your move?
I like the can opener.
Yeah?
Yeah, the cannonball's too cliche.
Can opener gets a bigger splash, I think.
Can opener does get a bigger splash, and the cannonball's too easy. The pencil drop, what is that? Is that like the straight?
The pencil, yeah.
The pencil, right? Yeah. Now the can opener's is cool.
Classic.
Yeah, it's classic.
It's for those people who can't do flips.
Which I can't. If I did that, I'd just break my fucking neck.
Somehow in water.
Yeah.
More you probably just flop and get a really
Now the belly flop.
Belly flop, yeah.
Yeah, that's
might just hurt.
That's for guys that want, they're just they need attention in high school.
It's it's kind of in right now. Belly flops.
The belly flop.
Yeah, there's weird videos circulating of people doing these crazy. They're and they destroy their stomachs on purpose. I don't know.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'd love to watch somebody do a belly flop.
Yeah,
it's not for me.
They're pretty funny. Painful though.
It's gotta. I've done it before. It does hurt.
Yeah, or I've attempted flip. I can do some flips.
You're good with the standing over the pool and just straight.
Oh yeah,
the
those
lean.
are the lean. You're the depressed fall into the pool. Yeah,
that's funny. Speaking of depressed, let's talk about mindset today. Instead of talking about the different ways you can jump into a pool.
What a transition.
I was trying to find it somewhere. I was like, oh, I need something.
Wow, we've been going on for too long, and there it is.
Yeah, so today is about positive mindset. We've touched on this a handful of times.
It's everything we talk about actually is correlated.
Yeah, it's sort of like an underlying thing in the podcast is about positive mindset, because a lot of what we talk about is bettering ourselves and, fighting off some of those cliches and trying to be a better person. And a lot of that does have to do with the core work that you put on yourself and
your outlook,
your mindset, being positive.
Yeah.
There's a lot here to discuss. I think overall, the number one thing that we need to say out of the gate is it's easier said than done.
Oh yeah.
It's very easy to live in the negativity as opposed to choosing positivity. Even the phrase "choose to be positive" can be kind of toxic. It can be sort of a...
Oh god, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing about that.
But there's a connotation that choosing it's almost as if it's that easy. It's almost as when people say that, I feel like a lot of people feel away because it's like choosing an apple or an orange.
Well, yeah,
to
of
eat,
course, yeah. It's
and
I'm just gonna do this.
I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, I can pick up the apple because I chose it and eat it, and it's not hard.
It's so much more. It's a practiced thing.
It's a practice thing, yeah.
But it is something that you can achieve
For
by
sure.
practice. I mean, it's the stupid adage, practice makes perfect, is real, and that applies to almost anything in life.
Yeah.
And including your attitude, your mood, your mindset.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing to say out the gate is that there is shit in life that's like really heady. It's really it's real. Like life happens, and it's gonna bring a negative mindset.
Yeah,
it's gonna bring you down.
Yeah.
You're gonna have things that are gonna be challenging, and that's okay. That's all human nature. That's all very valid.
Oh, yeah.
You know. And sometimes you need to be able to sort through that negativity, and sometimes you need time to process that stuff.
Right.
So it's not as easy as just flipping the switch and being like, I'm going to be positive about this.
Right.
Because it's not a reality. That's not something that.
It's not a light switch. Like you can't just do it.
It's
like
a
that.
process. It's
Right.
a process that you have to
Be willing
sift through,
and be
yeah.
willing to like
But
do, you know.
But at the end of that process, you have to be able to take the positive out of it, or come out with a mindset that is
Better than what you have.
not
you know?
gonna weigh you down, because
Right.
if you live in a world of stress and a world of always constantly worrying and letting that stuff get to you, then you will be unhappy. You will just simply be a miserable person.
Yeah.
Whereas, because this world fucking can shit on you in a heartbeat.
So
You
easily.
can have the best day, and all of a sudden something happens and your world can come crashing down. I mean, from as simple as like, oh man, I fucking stubbed my toe. That fucking really hurts. Oh wait, I actually broke it. Okay, this sucks. To like a death in the family. You know,
Right.
there's a huge, scope of things.
And that's what's funny is that there's different levels in which I think it affects people. Like big picture things, like a death in the family, as painful and as hard as it is, things like that.
Sometimes are.
I'm almost like better
Yeah.
equipped. I can deal with something like that a little bit better than I can. I mean, you know me, the small things. Are the
Oh
things
yeah,
that
you and I
really-
both. We're loose
yeah.
cannons about stupid shit.
About like the small things that build up, and then because it's like there's like no like death in the family, if we're talking about that, like death of a loved one or something, that is something that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you know, that's almost like at a certain age, even though it's really hard to like think about that or whatever, at a certain age you accept it, and you accept that like at some point it will happen or something. Whereas like when little things throughout the day are happening, like, you know, missing the train and like
God.
stubbing my toe, or like, you know, stubbing your toe, or like, you know, something in the ground, like dropping something and it breaking or something
The
like
hot
that. You're like,
sauce.
why is this happening?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
You
Like,
get
there's
in an
no
argument
reason-
with your significant other because they're having a bad day, and like,
Right, and you're trying to help, and
someone,
it's-
there's a myriad of little things that can build that can stack and put you in a negative mood, and then there's big stuff that can like really weigh on you, like.
Yeah.
Like, you know, not being able to afford rent or something,
or being stressed about money.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God!
that's just
And then the little things like missing the train stacked on top of the money issues that you have, and then you know, like if my mother is sick and she's been battling cancer, like there's
Yeah.
I could if I wanted to, I could dwell on the negative all day, easy.
yeah.
Easy.
And it would just, but that would be your whole day, you know.
And then you've missed opportunities to see joy in this life.
To laugh,
we only
to
get
smile.
fucking one go at this.
That's
you
what I
know?
mean, man. Life is so fucking short already. The older we get, the more we realize that, and it's like wasted on like leading into the negative and leaning into it and feeding into it, and like it's hard, man.
But I will say, you got to process the lows to really appreciate the highs.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you have to process.
Mm-hmm.
You don't let it consume you. You make sure that you are thoughtful and you are working towards a goal when you are processing those negative emotions and feelings. You know, the depression and anxiety and stress are all very real, you
100%.
know, and that stuff can, you know, there's clinical depression, of course, but then there's also like, you know, there's situational depression.
Anxiety and
Yeah, that like things can weigh you down, and when big things do stack, that is legit. And all your feelings when you are feeling blue, when you're down, when you've got a negative mindset, those can always be validated.
Yeah.
And that's okay, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're not working on it eventually to process to get to a good place, then that's unhealthy.
Yeah, if you aren't actually putting in like, so like I guess we can start to lean into the conversation of toxic positivity because
which is a funny. You literally opened my eye. We were talking about this yesterday or whenever we were planning this episode.
yeah.
And I'd never heard that term before, and it really.
Oh, really?
No, I
Oh.
took a deep dive a little bit.
Yeah, I
on-
saw you sent me some articles and stuff. Like
I sent
that,
a couple little like things on what those are, and I'm gonna read some of them here. They're things that I have said to people and have had conversations.
and it's
with.
not because they're not ill intentioned
No, of
at
course
all.
not.
You're
But
trying
they-
to help, but
And the word toxic makes, especially in this day and age, like everyone's quick to throw that word
Sure.
around.
yeah,
But it's interesting that like there's these classic examples of
that we've used
everyone
all
uses.
the time. Everyone's used all the time.
All right, here's some examples of toxic positivity. Look on the bright side. When someone like comes to you with something and they're going through something, being like, "Oh, it could be worse," Another one is others have it worse. Failure is not an option.
That's really toxic.
Yeah, that one is kind of obvious. But like, look on the bright side or good vibes only.
Oof.
That's the one, the present day. I feel like that's the 2020 version of look on the bright side.
Well, I mean, the thing about like the biggest one for me is the people have it worse. It's like we've all said that before, but it's also like no shit. Like you don't have to say that to me. Like I know that people have it worse.
It's
I know
invalidating is what it is.
Exactly. It's like yeah, of course in the grander scale I'm very blessed and we have so many amazing things that like make our lives incredible and we're so much better off than so many other people in the world that are like I mean like third world countries of people that are just they've known nothing but homelessness and hunger, like
For sure.
But yeah, but no shit. Like you don't have it's great to try to always keep that encompassing, but at the same time if I'm going through something, it's human nature to want to like feel that and like feel validated and feeling bad about it.
All
and
you
sad
have
about
is your experience. Even billionaires are valid when they have a bad day.
it.
Because that's human nature. Like a billionaire can still lose their mother,
Right,
and that's
right. And
like,
money can't fucking solve
no,
that.
exactly. Like that's still fucking awful, and it still
Yeah.
sucks, and that's a
Yeah.
total reason to be in a bad mood and have a negative mindset.
Yeah.
And that negative mindset kind of doesn't exactly work there, but it does.
Yeah. I think ultimately with getting on like the toxic positivity idea is like, for me, it really comes down to, it's not that being really positive is bad or like being overly positive is bad. That's not really what we're saying.
People love to be around positive people.
Exactly. We try
It's
to be very
infectious.
positive people. We
It's
try to be very
infectious.
upbeat. We try to make a lot of jokes. We try to laugh. We try to like see the bright side. We do.
Yeah.
Like we try to see the other side of the coin, especially in times of like anniversary. But like the real issue is people get to feel upset about things. People need to feel upset about things and they need to process it the way that they need to, because that's a really, really healthy way to, give yourself that space. Instead of like pushing away the feelings, be like, I'm going to force myself to be positive.
No.
You need to be able to give
No,
yourself time and space.
absolutely.
I think where the thin line is how much time
Yes,
you
you have-
spend in the negative.
100%. And I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like you have a shitty day at work. Your boss fucking reams you for something that wasn't necessarily your fault.
Right.
You come home, you get a bill that you're like, holy fuck, I forgot that I had to pay this.
Right.
Things start building. You start getting overwhelmed. You have a little bit of a breakdown. But at some point, when the tears dry,
You got to be willing to.
You've got-
you have to choose to be
you
try
have-
to be positive.
You can
and move
talk
on.
it out. You need to talk it out with whoever that is for you.
Significant other, friend,
which is another
family.
thing. Like and this is bringing it back to dudes, you gotta have someone in your life that you can vent to about real shit.
Absolutely.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you bottle that stuff up. And we've talked about this so many times.
Yeah.
But it's all this stuff. Obviously, all the conversations we have on this podcast are intertwined.
Yeah.
And this is a huge one. Like if you can't talk out your stuff, then you're going to remain in a negative headspace. You're going to get overwhelmed. And to get back to that level playing field, you've got to have tools
Yeah.
to
And support. Yeah. And you have to be willing to accept the support. You have to be willing to use the tools. You have to be willing to take that step. After a certain point of feeling angry about something or mad about something or upset about something, you have to be willing to go, man, this isn't conducive to me or anybody else around me. Yeah. I gotta choose to try to like listen and work on my mindset and work on these tools and get better, because there's always, with everything that's negative, there's always something else that's going on that is positive, and there's something to look at and look forward to. There's somebody to talk to about it. There's something to be grateful for. And at a certain point, if you wallow too long, you said this today, you're just in a hole.
Yeah.
And you just stay in that negative hole, and then you just wallow down there, and you can't get out. And that's where the choice comes in.
Exactly.
Because you do have the ability to get out of that hole. But when you first get it, you can be in the hole for a little bit. Yeah. It's okay. But if you let that go on for too long, man, it's not even you affect other people around you, and you really just fuck with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a choice you have to be willing to try. I know it's hard. We know it's hard. We battle with it too. But if you're not really making an attempt and really, really trying and being honest with yourself about trying and just being like, well, it sucks, whatever. I mean, it's just not, life is way too fucking short to not be trying to smile, not be trying to laugh, not be trying to get over things like that,
So this article that it's really just a screenshot of from a site called The Minds Journal. And on the opposite side, so this is like, what's a dude got to do? How do we flip our mindset? How do we, once we've realized these are, when we've processed, understand what they are, the tears have been shed, the processing done, how do we get positive? How do we move to the positive? I think there's a few different things you can start. And you got to realize these things first. Trial and error is a part of growth, is one of the things.
Yeah.
So like, I fucked up. It really sucks. This was a bad moment in my life.
Yeah.
But you get knocked down. Stupid adage, but
I get up again.
You gotta get back up.
Yeah,
Chumbawamba, bro. Chumbawamba, yo life.
Little Chumbawamba.
But it's real.
What's that song? Tub
Thumper.
Tub Thumper. You got a tub thump and you got a Chumbawamba.
So you can't get down on yourself for failing. That's part of life.
Yeah.
Like we said before, coping with pain means you're not storing it. You got to talk it out.
Oh yeah.
There's a camaraderie in being human, that like, you're not alone. Everyone goes through this same
Everybody's
shit.
dealt with it, man. Everybody.
And it's also like, this is probably the biggest one in the most simple way. It's normal to not always have a positive reaction.
Right.
Like, it's okay to feel away.
Yeah.
But then once you get all that processed, you got to know thyself and how to get out of there. Yeah. Like, you know yourself better than anybody. And there's going to be things that that can cheer you up, or that are going to help you take that first step towards making it right, making it positive choice.
Yeah.
And if that means, I was having a conversation with my fiance, Mary Grace, and she was overwhelmed with work and life and our wedding and all this stuff. And she was like starting borderline, like having a breakdown about all the things, because it's just overwhelming.
Yeah.
But all those things are good things. Like, she was overwhelmed with work because she had a lot going on, which is a good thing. She's in real estate. You want to have a lot of, but she also So I'm wedding stuff because, we're in crunch time.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, you're really good at making lists. You're really good at making a list, setting a schedule,
Yeah.
and following through. This is what you do well. So let's sit down and let's make a list. Let's take a step in the right direction of positive choices.
Something you can actively kind of
Yes.
do. Yeah.
You got to have what is the first baby step?
Right.
For her, it was, let's make a list so that I can start
visualize it and
then
see
start
it that
checking
way.
things off.
Yeah.
And she immediately, after we made a list for all the things, we were stressed about our house was dirty. We needed to clean the house. She had work stuff, wedding stuff, and there was another thing.
Sure.
And we just made a list of all the things, and 2 of them I was a part of, so it was super helpful for me too.
Right.
And we listed it out, made little boxes so that they easily can check off.
And then they had sex. See? These
No.
things can lead to sex. That's a good thing.
You get sex.
You get sex at the end of this. The point is, and that is great because that I think is the final button, is when you do go through something and you work through it and you get out of it, take a look at what you had to do
Yeah.
and learn from what you did right, what you did wrong, and then apply it to the next time. Because the next time, there's going to be a next time.
There will always be a next time.
Always be a next time to get down.
And next time you're there, you have tools. You have that.
You can
thing.
go, okay, what did I do last time that was like, that was similar? It might be a completely different thing that's got you down, but that doesn't mean that there's still things that you garnered from the last experience to put towards to the next one to like get over it and learn and grow and like be better, faster, be happier a little bit faster and get over things,
Lists are a good thing.
Lists are a
Because
great
when
thing.
you
I love
start-
lists.
I think this is like the what's the dude got to do? Like the best thing you can do is start. If you need to write it down, if you need to make a mental list, whatever works for you, start checking off things that are going to get you to positivity. That are going to get you to being happy again. Because at the end of the fucking day, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
We all just want to be happy.
Yeah, man.
We just want to have a easier time than the negative moments we had before.
Exactly.
Like let's just find a way to be happy. And if you are active in for me, I had a bunch of medical things recently. I've talked about it a bunch. To get over the hump after the processing of being overwhelmed, I was like, I've got to just start chipping away at lists.
Yeah.
Start paying one bill at a time. Start making that appointment. Call and
Right.
make the appointment. You feel so much relief when you're being proactive.
Oh, yeah.
If you wallow in it, if you're not being proactive in whatever the situation is, if you've got a conversation you have to have with your boss, with your significant other that's weighing on it, you gotta have it.
Don't wait on it.
You gotta have it.
Don't wait on it.
You have to start doing little steps to get you what you want.
Yeah. And sometimes there's not like a cut and dry solution for something or how you're
Sure.
feeling. But that doesn't mean there's still not ways. Like go work out.
Oh,
do
God.
do something
Working out's
active,
good.
do something
Yeah.
physical. Do something that, is going to make you happy, like play a video game or read a book. Go outside, take a walk, get a little dopamine going. Like,
Buying things is not it.
well,
It's a Band-Aid. It is. I'm saying you can it is a there are
toxic shopping is a
toxic
thing.
shopping is not it. I'm telling you. It will be, oh, I got a nice new thing. This is fun. But that whatever it is that's bothering you is still there. No shoes,
Well,
no
you'll
clothes, no
probably
video
get-
game is going to fulfill that need.
If you have the money and you want to go shopping one day because you think it's going to make you feel better, by all means do that. But if it's there's a lot of like, don't let it be like a snap decision type thing where you're just like, like it's easy to do online.
If you're doing that, then it's be processing what you're like going through at the same time.
Right,
you can't just
exactly.
like ignore. Ignoring is the worst.
Yeah.
Putting it to the back of your mind, talking it out, having the conversation, making a list.
That's number
These
one.
things help. And if it's deeper than if it's depression and if it's anxiety, talk to a professional.
Yeah.
there's so many resources now. There's so many.
Definitely get help. Definitely have a therapist. Definitely talk to them.
We talk about this all the time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it's find a way to get happiness. Find a way to be positive, because
Smoke some weed.
smoke some motherfucking ganja.
Smoke some weed, man.
Yeah, dude.
If that helps you. I feel like some people have been like, okay, and then they
they're
smoke and they're like,
anxious as
oh
fuck.
god,
Yeah,
like
they
it
have
just
a
gets worse.
meltdown.
Don't do that. That's
They end up in the hospital because they think they're dying.
if know thyself again. Know yourself. That's not it. Yeah.
Don't get lost in the bottle.
Don't get lost in the sauce, man. That's a
Toxic.
no go.
Oh God, I've been there too many times.
Yeah.
Band-aiding with booze, not it.
Band-aiding with substances in general is and will never be it.
Yeah, a little weed I think is kind of chills you out.
Weed's nice.
But booze is danger zone.
Danger zone.
So yeah, so those are our tips and tricks, I guess. There's so many more. We're not licensed professionals, but we have reflected on this some. So I hope we could share some of our experience, and that was helpful.
Transition. We hope you've enjoyed what you've listened to today. We are really enjoying the process. We are doing a lot of social media stuff, and we're really making a push on TikTok and Instagram Reels. We've gotten a lot of love there. We've got a lot of discussions in general, and we are really trying to push all of the engagement towards YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube now, thank you very much. Please hit the subscribe button, notifications, put that on. Leave a comment, join in the discussion. Let us know. Do you agree? Do you not? Are there other coping mechanisms that you've done that have worked? You know, we'd love to hear about that.
Share them with the community, because we are trying to build a community here. We're trying to change a cultural mindset that's off. Obviously, we're not going to change the entire culture, but like in our community, we can make a difference. People can hear what we're saying, can talk to each other. People who are much smarter than we are, please comment and share your experience too.
Because we're just a couple of dum-dums.
Chuckle fuckos.
So follow us on @TheModernDude. If you see a clip you like on there, go to YouTube, watch the whole video. We love you. We appreciate you. And don't forget, do your due diligence. Bye-bye.